guys, this is my annual winter baby name list bonanza. It is the ultimate winter name list. These are all really magical names for this season. If you're having a winter baby, I have a little December baby, and it's just such a beautiful time of year to have a child and lovely to bring the magic of the season into their name. These are non-obvious. I've gone beyond obviously like Holly, Noel, all the classics, but I have been doing these name lists for quite a few years. I will leave the other name lists I've done for this theme in the description bit below, and let me know in the comments which ones you like. This baby name list is actually sponsored by the most ingenious personalised Christmas gift. Oh, I am obsessed. So you may have seen these Wonderland books going around on the internet. I've heard of them, and they are absolutely more incredible than I even imagined. This is the famous one that I've heard of, The Little Girl Who Lost Her Name, and you personalise this. And then I've done this one as well for all three of my children. I'm going to show you the inside quickly because you won't believe how actually brilliant it is. And then there's some little sleep stories like this one. So personalised bedtime books. This is so sweet for Evelina, my little daughter who is 4. You can even put in your own little sort of who it's from at the beginning. So this says, to Evelina, wishing you the coziest of nights, the soundest sleeps, the happiest dreams wherever they take you. Love Freddie and Finn. I can't get past much of this. And then her name is then all throughout this little sleep book. And then you can also make the character look like your child as well. So she is blonde like me. And it's just a really beautiful story to make them feel really special and cared for at bedtime. But because we are all name nerds here, you must invest in the little girl who lost her name. And of course you can do the little boy who lost his name. It is so wonderful. I've chosen the rainbow cover. I'm going to cut away just some shots of the inside, but essentially it tells the story of your child, a little girl who loses their name. And as they go through the book, what's so clever is they meet different characters along the way who give them a letter. So the story is also personalised. If you've got more than one child, their adventures would be different because they'd be meeting F's, I's, N's and N's. And Evelina meets an elephant for E, a Viking for her V, and all of the characters together come together to help her remember her name. I just think it is so smart, and I know she's going to absolutely adore this book, and I'm going to adore giving it to her and reading it with her. It's going to be a really special thing. It's her Christmas birthday as well, which is always quite hard, so having something extra special for Christmas and something different for her birthday is such a good package, and you obviously get a discount deal on the most. But this one is just incredible. So it's a bit like those famous Where is the Character books that are hidden within the story, but your children's names. And as they go through, they get this brilliant, super cool story about the trio of them. Again, I'll do some cutaways. So I've got Freddie, Evelina and Finn, but then they have different characters. So here is Finn Holmes, Long Evelina Silver, Red Riding Freddie, and each of the hidden character stories change. So as they go through, they have to find themselves within the different worlds. They go to Animal World, and the illustrations are just absolutely brilliant. I'm going to give this to them on Christmas Day as like a joint present, or maybe even if you do like the Christmas Eve boxes, this would be so special. I am in love with them, honestly. I really highly recommend you grab one now. It will make your Christmas. It's just the memories, and just that they really, you know, they won't understand how this book exists. I will leave the links below. It's so easy to order, comes super fast as well, but such a gorgeous gift and so perfect for us with our beloved name nerd community here. Yeah, let me know if you get a book and how much you enjoy it. So the names, these are so pretty. So first up is the name Winnica. This is on so many name lists. I feel like I'm giving away a little gem that some of you will be cross with me. The nickname Winnie is really on the rise as a kind of vintage nickname, and Winnica actually means Christmas orchid. So it's a stunning name for this time of year, a rare floral gem. I love the strength of it as well. So it reminds me of kind of a Scandinavian name, which I think are also really perfect for this season, and just a real gem. The next name, I'm going to do girls then boys, is the name Enya. So Enya actually means fire, And I really like it for this time of year because it's much more kind of winter. We always think about cold, but then I've also thought about warmth and that being indoors and that hygge feeling that we get, which is such a nice side of the season as well. So I thought the Enya, meaning fire, is just really, really gorgeous and perfect for that sort of cozy feeling of the season. I've got solstice for a girl. Now I know if you watch these every single week, I had solstice last week when I was doing next level nature word names, but I can't not leave it on here as well just because of that, because you might only watch this one. And there is of course the winter solstice, which is the shortest day of the year, and it's just a really beautiful name. It's very kind of spiritual sounding as well, because there's lots of ceremonies around solstice, and I think it just really works as a kind of those sort of spiritual names that we're really into at the moment, a bit like a Bodhi, these enlightenment type of names. Bodhi's a great Christmas one, December festival. But yeah, I loved solstice, so wanted to share it with you again. The name anise is really, really lovely, and it's from the spice, the star anise, which we use a lot in our cooking at this time of year. So whether that's for red cabbage and you pop your star anise in, which I'm going to be making this weekend, or it could be for mulled wine. But anise is just really lovely, gentle sounding name and quite nice. And if you wanted to, you could call her like Estelle Anise, and then she's literally star anise if you really love star anise. Like I love Snow, obviously is a great Christmas name, and my daughter's middle name is Blossom, and I always feel a bit like, oh, I should have gone Blossom and Snow, like from the song Edelweiss, which was from Sound of Music, perfect Christmas movie. If you don't know, I have made a whole video about how much I love the Sound of Music because I'm that kind of YouTuber. Next up is the name Nevada. Now, I was saying recently that I even got a crush on the name Nirvana, which is the state of like high state in spirituality, Nirvana, but it's difficult because of the band. And Nevada, it kind of gets away with that. It's got the trendiness of being a place name as well, but it means snow-capped. So such a perfect winter name. So really, really gorgeous. I feel like a lot of you will like that. Neve meaning snow, but then having the Nevada, I think sounds really cool. It's so trendy and a bit kind of less obvious. What do you think of Nevada? Would you veto or list it? The next name I've got is Ira, which is Welsh in origin. The Welsh names are so beautiful, particularly for sort of seasonal, and it means snow. It's such a favourite here. We also absolutely love Lumi, which means snow. I had that on a list a while ago, and I just watched the movie A Boy Called Christmas, which is another name thing, name movie, and it's brilliant, and the little girl's called Lumi in that, so do go and watch A Boy Named Christmas because it's absolutely gorgeous. It's Santa Claus as a kid origin story. So I thought Ira or Lumi, which one would you prefer out of the two? And then I've got clove, which very similar to anise is the spice that we really associate with this time of year, that real warmth and coziness, and I really like it. We talked about clover a few times, but I'm in the crush mode of just clove by itself. I don't know if it's just because it's got the word love in it, but I'm really, really liking the name clove. Zima, I have found, so I looked at winter because a lot of us just go with the name winter now. It's really getting popular, gaining its popularity like summer came before it. August is also, autumn I mean, is also really popular. No springs just yet. But I looked at what the Zima is, another word for winter in the Slavic countries. So really interesting. And again, with that said, a lot of you might really like it. So if you like winter, but you're like, is it just too obvious? Or even if somebody's used winter, and my sister's got summer, so we liked winter, but didn't want to have summer and winter in the same family, I could have gone with Zima. I love the idea of using the name Tansy after the December birthstone, which is Tanzanite. I think is really nice. I'm not sure I would go the full Tanzanite, but I do love the idea of using Tansy because it just sounds really pretty. It sounds quite floral, but then she's got that birthstone in her name as well. A name you've heard before, but again, had to use it on this list, is the name Apricity. And Apricity is an ancient word meaning the warmth of sun during winter. So I love it. A lot of you feel it sounds quite harsh or sounds like a brand name. Some of you have fallen absolutely in love with it. Apricity, we featured it on the podcast Baby Name Envy, where you can go and listen to real life name dilemmas if you're interested. Apricity, but I love it still, and I really think it's going to get popular, even if just two of you use it. Apricity. Can't get a more pretty name for winter than the warmth of the sun in the winter. Not like that today, very gloomy here, but it might be where you are. So for boys, how about the name Aquilo? Really cool name. I said these are winter themes, so they're all around kind of the season, and Aquila was the Roman god of the north wind, so very, very seasonal for winter. He was said to blow winter across earth with his breath. So literally, he is, you know, it'd be quite a cool name when like Aquilo, and then when it is winter, it's like whenever you feel it, it's like, oh, that's your god sending you the cold air. It's quite funny when it snows. Sometimes my kids, when they were little, thought that it was from their farmer and farfar in Sweden sending them snow. It was really sweet. So little Aquilo, and I think it's such a trendy wearable name with the O at the end. Another rare one I found for boys, which I like, could even be gender neutral, this one, is the name Winnock. So really interesting name. What do you think of it? I'm trying to go with some ones you haven't heard before because I've done so many of these name lists, which you can listen to below. It's a French name and it means white. So Saint Winnock is the patron saint of millers, which I think is always cool. And though he was an advocate, so he was a healer as well, Winnock. But I feel like we've had Winnaker so popular at the moment for girls. I've had it on so many of our name lists that you may not know that there is actually a male version of it with this Winnock, and it sounds really cute. It sounds very elf-like, doesn't it, Winnock? I feel like it's a character name. Some of you can use that in your books. Whitaker, I love. Surname as first name trend is so popular, and it means from the white, so it's really perfect for like this wintry weather, Whitaker, but it's not obvious. It's not like Noel or something like that, Whitaker. Really, really nice. I really like it. And then I've got Ignatius. So there's a few different ways of using Ignatius, which means fiery. So again, going to that really, really cozy, fiery, fireside feeling of the season, Ignatius. But you can also go Inaki, which is the Basque version of it, or Ignacio. There's quite a few, or Inigo. So there's a lot of variations of Ignatius. If you felt that that was quite grand, I quite liked Inaki. Thought that looked quite trendy and short and sweet if we're looking for something a bit braver for winter. Otso. Isn't that cute? When I've just said it now, it sounds a bit like Oxo, the gravy, here in the UK, but Otso. So Otto has been on a lot of lists, but Otso actually means bear. And I just thought it was really adorable as a name, and so many of you love those O sounds for boys. I thought you might be a new gem for some of you. Bears, of course, all get all cozy and hibernate during winter, and they're in a lot of storybooks around this time of year. You'll see bears hibernating and stuff like that, so it's quite a sweet name. It's a Finnish name for bear. Orion for boys is a brilliant name, getting really popular. It actually rises in the northern hemisphere when winter is on its way. So people would in the past have used Orion to signal that winter is coming. Whoop, very Game of Thrones. So it's really interesting. Really, those astrological names are so popular. And I think with Ryan sounding like them being such a common name, Orion really, really works. It's not dissimilar to an Oliver, so you can have a more out there name but quite wearable. Valo means light in Finnish. I think this is so trendy. As I said, I wanted to look all around the world for name ideas, and I loved Valo. I think it sounds really wearable with it short and sweet, and it would make a really cool middle name as well. It means light, so we've talked about Lux and things like that before, or Lucian, which means light, but I really quite liked Valo for something a little bit different. I really like it. The more I say it, the more I like it. It's growing on me. Live with it for a little bit and let me know what you think. And the last two are so good. So I've got Alto. So Alto means high. And it's really interesting because you think about high peaks of winter and those snowy heights, but also alto. If you're a singer, you can sing alto, which means high as well. So I was looking into, because the name that's coming up a lot was Alta as well. So Alta is the highest city. It's actually in Norway, and it's where people travel to see the northern lights. So it's known for the Arctic coast, and it says it's so beautiful. There's often the whales in the Alto Fjord, and people go there to the orcas and the humpback and see the northern lights. Wouldn't that be a dream trip? But there's Alta, but then we've changed it into Alto as it's travelled around, and I prefer it with the O for a name, but you might like Alta with the A depending on where you're from in the world and how that sounds to you. But I thought that was such a fascinating, evocative name, with it having both the singing, which we do a lot of at this time of year, plus this beautiful place name with the northern lights. It's just so dreamy, isn't it? And my very last one for boys might be my favourite, and it's the name Beacon. So again, I looked at names meaning light, and a beacon in dark times, or beacon in the dark, feels very, very wintry, but really, really hopeful and really, really nice, particularly if you've had a difficult pregnancy. I get a lot of messages about that. I just want something that feels really hopeful and really positive, but demonstrates having a tough time. And I think beacon really does that. But to me, just such a beautiful name as well. Could even be a girl's name, because I was just thinking, what would you nickname for a boy? But for a girl, you could have B, or you could be a Connie, but then you're Beacon. But I think I love it for a boy, so it's probably because it sounds like Deacon a little bit, Beacon. But love, love, love it. So there are very rare, unique winter names for you there. If you want more baby names for that theme, go to the description box below, and I will share the previous ones. And please do not forget to go and check out Wonderly. It is so easy. You can preview the full book before you buy. You can pick the covers, you can pick the little inscription, obviously the name, and they're just such wonderful stories, and you can buy them for more than one child because they're so personalised. Obviously you do this for 2 children, they go right up, so this will be fun for my 8 and my 11-year-old, and then Evelyn is just 4 and she would like her little storybook as well. So I'm just so chuffed, like literally I can't stop smiling. I'm so excited to give them those. So thank you, Wonderly. The links will all be below, and I'll see you very soon for more winter Christmassy names. It's going to be a good theme this year. Don't forget to check out the podcast, Baby Name Envy, and stay tuned for a very exciting news coming up this month as well. Bye guys.